September 1990. The Cold War is at its peak, and in the shadows, old games continue to be played. The Kirov, the pride of the Soviet fleet, is underway on a mission of utmost importance. Its destination? The remote waters near the St. Lawrence Island, where defectors wait with information vital to the defense of the motherland. The Kirov is on a covert mission, to drop off a special forces team tasked with making contact with these defectors. What they carry could alter the balance of power. But the mission won't be uncontested. Our spies on the island have confirmed that the United States is also aware of the defectors. While we don't know exactly what forces will be deployed, we anticipate resistance from the east. Americans will stop at nothing to prevent us from retrieving this information. Intelligence has suggested that the Americans won't have an aircraft carrier or submarines in the area, but the number of vessels we'll face remains unknown. The Kirov's firepower will be tested, and timing will be everything. One wrong move and the mission will fail. The future of the motherland could hinge on the success of this operation. Hey there and welcome back to Sea Power. Today we're operating with the Kirov. This scenario was made by Vulcan HD Gaming and it follows upon the Vladivostok port visit, which I rendered in my videos as a friendly visit. The Kirov, while all of that was taking place, was operating in the Bering Strait. That's exactly where we're headed right now. We're to link up with another ship and we are to drop off Spetsnaz forces, so special forces. And in order to do that, we'll have to make it all the way over to this circle over here. Once we get there, we'll be able to drop off the forces and the mission is a success. But of course, the enemy will not make that easy. We do have one other ship here. This is the Okean M. It is a completely unarmed ship, and it is a spy ship. Very interesting of Vulcan to use this in the scenario. It's completely unarmed, but it has optics, it has a navigation radar, and it has ESM, so it can detect other radiation sources. At the moment, it's only picking up one meager radar signature behind it, so let's ask that thing to identify it. They are unwilling to respond, and the ship, or whatever that is, seems to be completely stationary. No course, no speed, nothing. So it might just be moored there. As for the Kirov, I do have a flight deck, and I want to launch at least one helicopter, to make sure that I can get some eyes in the sky. Because without that, I'm going to have to give away the position of the Kirov, and I really don't want to do that. Well, the thing is, the helicopter is going to be the spotter, but the ship, of course, can defend itself. We have a lot of firepower. We have the SAN-6. That is the anti-air missile, anti-aircraft, out to a range of 50 nautical miles. So this thing can project a hell of a no-fly zone around itself. Aside from that, we got the SAN-4, which is far shorter range, at 8 nautical miles. And we carry another 40 of those. We have 20 SSN-19s. These are the shipwrecks. They are extremely deadly. And they're situated in these massive VLS cells over here. So with those things, you can pretty much wreck aircraft carriers, although neither aircraft carriers nor submarines are expected in the area. Next up, we have the SSN-14A, which is the anti-submarine weapon. You can basically airdrop a torpedo out to 27 nautical miles, but we're not expected to need that. Then we got the RBU-6000 anti-submarine mortar and can be used against torpedoes. RBU-1000 the same. We have the Z-65 anti-submarine homing torpedo, which has a range of 8 nautical miles. The AK-100 gun. I believe we have those on the stern. And then finally we have our own CIWS systems. So this thing is very well protected. Oh, and we have a lot of chaff. And noisemakers. So between all of that, we should have plenty of resources to deal with whatever comes our way. First up though, I want to launch the helo. I want to get a bit more information about what is going on in the area. The helicopter is now about 15-16 miles away from the Kirov. And time to pop up. Let's go to 1000 feet and activate our radar briefly. As for the scenario time, this was the 8 PM time as set by Vulcan. So yes, it's a very dark scenario, and I guess to some extent it makes sense. I have considered switching it over to daylight because there's more to see, but considering that we're trying to drop off special forces, I think it's a bit more in line to try and do that at night under the cover of dark. So I will try and at least show you as much as possible. But, of course, the whole ship is currently sailing dark. The helo is sailing, or, well, flying dark. So there isn't that much that we can currently see. Let's see if we can at least get some information using our radar. We're getting a massive ellipse. That's a plane. Supposedly somewhere 900 miles out, potentially. Interesting, I'm not getting anything here. Okay, fine. MCON. Go back down to 200 feet. And, scout this way. Let's launch the second. Actually, you're going to keep on this sector. I'm going to launch the other helo from the Kirov as well. We have 3 of them. I might as well use more of them just to scout out. With the helo now about 40 nautical miles away from the Kirov, I want to pop up again. I want to see what else is out there. So this helo is climbing, going up to 3,000 feet. The other one is about 20, let's say about 21 nautical miles away from the Kirov towards the other side. I first want to see what this guy can spot. As for the rest, there is something out there. It's a plane, and it's hostile. It's just that I don't exactly know what it is. But considering that I'm getting an ESM response from the Kirov, I think it could be a P3. So it could be a patrol aircraft, naval patrol. And they also have a Seahawk, sorry, a Sea Sprite in the area. If they're all the way over there, then I don't really consider them a threat. If they're apparently closer, then we might need to take action against them. Helo is almost in position, climbing up to 2,200 feet, 2,300. As for our speed, we're doing currently 31 knots. This means that we will arrive at this site, let me switch to Zulu time, in about 3 hours. Until that time, though, we might encounter some resistance. Let's see, you're high enough up. Oh, what's that? What is that? Okay, mark that up. It was here, and the other one was over there. Speed 25 knots. It's pretty quick. Where are you guys racing off to then? Course 008. So like that. And the other one was doing, what, a similar course? Yeah, also 008. I don't find it likely that these guys are, well, let's say merchant ships, and they just happen to follow the exact same course at the same speed. Strikes me as a formation. So let's do some further investigation. And the other helo, going to pop up as well, go to 3,000 feet. You're going back down, and you're MCON. Good. I can also plunk a sonar buoy into the water to try and listen to what that is. See if we can count the propeller blades, propeller shafts, and figure out what we're looking at. This helicopter, I'd say, is more likely to be right about there, in front of those ships. Much, much more likely than being all the way over here. Alright, let's continue our investigation of the area. The other helicopter is now about 40 miles away from that last known position. And if something's doing 25 knots, it tends to be noisy. Let's see what we can get from a sonar buoy. I want to have a listen. Can we actually detect something? That Sea Sprite is definitely closer. Doing 2,000 feet. Interesting. How do we know it's there? ESM. So it's... oh, it's radaring. Interesting. Surprising, too. I wonder if they've detected us yet. We are an enormous target. I mean, the side profile of this thing is vast, so I'd say it's fairly likely we've been detected. But if that's NATO warships, they might not be in range yet. Let's say we have a range of, what, 65 nautical miles if you're looking at a harpoon. So that's the range of the harpoon. Anything that gets within that range can launch and can be a threat to the Kirov. Despite all her defenses, I do consider that a threat. So I need to keep an eye on whatever these two things are. And this guy... radar on. They're not picking up anything. Okay, I'm gone. I'm thinking there might be a bigger threat here. It could be just 2 ships, it could be more. Okay, let's get the helo going on. Sonar buoy is deployed. Interesting that we're not actually getting any resources or any results from that yet. That's what I was expecting at this point. To at least get some results. But nothing. Last detection? About 30 seconds ago with the radar, I suspect. They're thinking it's a merchant, but it could be 21 other things, so... At this point, we simply don't know. This helicopter is potentially annoying as a detection unit. Outside of that, I don't think it's that big of a threat. And the moment I shoot it down, which I can at 50 miles, they will definitely know that something is going on. So I don't really want to make them any more aware than they really should be. Surprisingly, more sonar buoys are not yet detecting anything. The weather is not great, so yeah, the atmospheric conditions are a bit terrible. There's a lot of noise, which might conceal those ships for now. What is definitely not getting concealed is the amount of helicopters. There's 1, 2, 3. And potentially more, because I'm seeing another SH-2F there. And something else here. This could be that patrol aircraft at a height of 25,000 feet. So that's most likely not a helicopter. But they got 4 helos in the skies? They're really searching for something. And I wonder if it's me. Now let's activate the surface search again. Oh, bloody hell. Hello. That's a lot more than I was expecting. MCON. So we're looking at a bunch of contacts. Market. And you're on a... Oh, crap. You're probably on a course of what? 008? 007. Okay. Interesting. So they too are following that line. But what is all this? It's a semi-large, it's a large, and another semi-large, and a semi-large. So we're looking at a group of 5 ships. So that explains why there's so many helicopters around. Interesting. Okay, dip down. I definitely want to have this helicopter come back. If I want to, I could probably blow this whole surface group out of the water using my anti-ship missiles. The thing is, I don't really want to yet. Because I'm not too sure what I'm engaging, and I'm not too sure if I've been detected yet. Of course, I'd much rather be the one that opens fire, rather than being the one to get shot at and then have to return fire. What's the range that we're currently looking at? Ruler. About 36, 35 miles. Yeah. Okay. So, a bit closer and drop another sonar buoy. At this point, it could be pretty dangerous to start popping up and using the radar again. Because at that point, if they got the standard missile 2s with the extended range, they will shoot down that helo. And that's one of my 3 spotters. 2 of which are currently airborne. So I gotta be a bit careful with these birds. With deploying another sonar buoy, I definitely have a bit of noise coming off of these ships now. Not a whole lot yet, but we're getting somewhere. So I'm gonna drop another one a bit closer and see if I can triangulate that sound a bit more. So far I'm only detecting 2, but there were about 5 targets there, or at least 5 contacts. So let's see if I can re-establish those using more sonar buoys. One of the sonar buoys is definitely getting enough information now that we know it's a gas turbine. It's a Ticonderoga, it's a Spruance or a Kidd. The other one, let's have some information on that. It's a Garcia or a Perry. Okay. So at least we know they're hostile. As far as I can tell, I haven't been ordered not to shoot anything. So I might just go on the offensive here. Because if... Oh, there's another one. What we got here? That's another Garcia? Hold on. So we got 7016. We got 7017. This one is a Garcia or a Perry. We lost track on 7016, which is... Well, that's one of the bigger ships, unless it's a kid. And we are getting awfully close to that marker that I set up, the 65 nautical mile one. So I have to Kirov turn north. It's going to delay a little bit, but I'd rather be delayed than dead. This helo has dropped a second sonobuoy. The sonobuoy is definitely picking up something. There's another contact. Yeah, it's right in the same formation. We can tell its course, we can tell its speed. I'd say it's part of the NATO group, whatever it is. Yeah, there's 126 things that it could be. I'm not banking on that. But I'm fairly concerned, or fairly certain that it is hostile. As for this Sea Sprite, I'm not sure if it's inside of my NTR bubble. It's hovering around 50 miles. And I don't really want to waste a missile on it. Not yet. Because while it is dangerous as a spotter, it's only really armed with sonobuoys and an anti-submarine torpedo. So it's not that likely to pose any kind of enormous threat. Not yet. For a second, I saw an MGM-85 pop up. Or sorry, MGM-84. So there's a harpoon in the area. Which means we have definitely been detected. And we're going to activate everything. I'm going to turn this helo into an active spotter. So we're going to do 3,000 feet. And we're going to start shooting missiles. Because there are definitely harpoons in the area. You can barely make it out in the dark. But that is not friendly. Surprisingly, it's at 120 feet high. That's not exactly harpoon level standards. Normally they're sea skimmers. This guy is sea skimming. 26 feet. Yeah, there's a lot of harpoons in the area. I'm going to tell the Kirov to go... weapons... Well, yeah, weapons tight. There's a whole slew of those things. Weapons free. Engage targets at will. You're at 1,500 feet. Activate your surface search radar. I want to get direct and immediate information about these ships. Accurate information. Come on. Give me the ship. Ship is trying to defend itself. Once it comes to Seawiz, something else has gone wrong. I.e. early detection. But look at the amount of missiles that this thing is throwing up in the air just to try and stop everything that's coming at it. And so far, it seems to be working. There's another intercepted. This one seems to have completely missed. It's just trailing directly behind the boat. There's a lot of SCN-6s flying about. And interestingly, we haven't actually launched SSN-19s yet. So let's change that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Each contact is going to get 2 missiles. Although I do believe that these things will start flying in formation. And as such will... Well, sort of, if individually decide what their target should be. Look at all these missiles just flying about. That's the SSN-19, that's the anti-ship missiles. But these are the NTR missiles, which are going quite high. 292,000 feet. That's impressive. I'm going to report that to the developers. Seems like we have defeated the first wave of missiles. My own missiles are now in the air, and they are beautifully lined up in a formation. It still surprises me just that 1980s tech can do this. They're all lining up, and they will ideally start splitting out targets between them. The Kirov is heading due north at 31 knots, and as such, I believe that some of these ships are not able to throw their harpoons in the air because they're outranged. I'm going to continue that, so I'm going to turn away even more. I'd rather not try to get lucky again. Oh, okay, that's our spotter dead. Yeah, a standard missile 2, medium range. Kind of waiting to happen. Because I did outstay my welcome there with the radar just a little bit. I should have turned the radar back off and go dark. I want this thing to identify itself. Does not respond. 378 knots at 25,000 feet. Okay, this thing is hostile. It's definitely not one of our birds. It's not an IL-38. It's not a Tu-142, so it's a P-3 Orion. This thing is hostile. Which means the Kirov has permission to shoot it down. 1 missile airborne. Unfortunately, I won't really be able to follow what those missiles are going to do. I mean, this one, yes, because I kind of know what this is. But I just lost all eyes on that whole formation over there. Unfortunately. I'm not that eager to launch another helo. And as for keeping my radars turned off, my argumentation here is I'm not going to turn them off simply because I want to be aware of incoming threats. And going dark after you've already been made, I think doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. This missile seems to be going directly for the target, which of course is keeping me lit up. There's the flares. That is too fast. Boom. Another missile airborne. Ah, one of the SSN-19s is getting detected and intercepted. Unfortunately for you, there's a whole lot more out there. I didn't send my whole salvo, because I still have more. I still have 11, so I sent about half. But I first want to see how much they can shoot down, and how much of them actually make it to the target. Because if I do send too many, and they all saturate one target, or they oversaturate one target, that would be a big waste of missiles. There we go. It's decided that it is now very much... Oh, look at that. They're definitely splitting out targets. But one of them got intercepted. So now I have about, what, 7 missiles in the air, I think? Seeing as 2 already shot down. These guys are going to have a very interesting time. This missile of mine, not really doing that well. Kirov probably reacquiring. There we go, launching again. Another missile got intercepted. Yeah, there's definitely ships out there. Lots of ships, in fact. And they're all throwing their missiles at me. And there's the there's the naval guns. I'm expecting chaff and sea whiz to start going off very soon. But these are SSN-19 shipwrecks. Like, I don't need more than one hit. You get hit by this, you're going to have a very, very serious issue. But I think they all got intercepted. It's impressive. Well done to NATO. Oh, come on. Are you really... I'm kind of done with this game. Can we just shoot that plane down? Okay, so they have managed to eliminate the whole salvo. That's a bit of a problem. I'm probably going to have to send the whole salvo after them. Like, all 11 of them. And then the SSN-14As, they don't do that much. So, maybe I should have sent a larger salvo. Oh, never mind. We did kill one of them. We did kill one of them. Hit track 7016 with an SSN-19. There you go. What is going on with the smoke? Huh? Visual issue. Okay. This is actually a really good kill, because I think this is probably one of the most capable anti-air platforms that they have. We finally got that P3 shot down. So with this thing out of the skies, and with their Ticonderoga dead, maybe it's going to be a little easier to start going after targets. Okay, it also means that it is potentially safer to go up with the helicopter again and briefly activate our radar before jumping back down. Because the Ticonderoga has those long-range missiles. I'm not so sure about the rest of them. We got vampires? We do. How are they not getting detected? The hell? What are you shooting? There's the harpoon. So we're definitely not out of all the ranges yet. Where are you going? This one has lost the plot, but this one seems to know where it's going. So hopefully we can intercept that one. And there's another. This is their second salvo. Come on, Kirov. Make me proud. Let's turn back to starboard a bit. Allow Seawiz to have a bit more of an engagement area. This guy's getting awfully close. Dead. Intercepted by the Seawiz. Well done. Ship's coming around to starboard. And where did that missile go? Did we knock it out? Unsure. Okay. Let's do a radar search. Yeah, there we go again. Okay. So they're still pretty much in the same area. Speed still 26 knots. Ticonderoga should be dead by the time that my second salvo arrives. Alright, excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Let's just send everything, because I don't really have an indication that there are other threats in the area. I probably would have detected them by now. Okay, go MCON, dip down, change your heading. Very good. Kirov should be just about done launching its salvo. There's another. And another. And the last one. So we're now officially out of shipwrecks. The shipwrecks are going to have to come through for me. And with that Ticonderoga dead, I'm pretty hopeful. I think we'll get some nice results here. Let's have you continue on your westerly course. I don't want to launch my other helicopter yet. And I want to have the Kirov turn back northeast. I'm definitely not getting any closer to that objective yet. But so far, I think we've killed a very important target. I'm looking forward to seeing what those missiles are going to do. And with that cliffhanger, I will leave you for the next video. Channel members can already see the video right away, so if you want to become a channel member, you can, and immediately continue watching. And otherwise, the next part of this video is up tomorrow. Thank you for watching so far, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for more.